Grand Marais Harbor. I am out on Artist Point to catch the sunrise, and let you know I found out late last night that the county is going to be taking care of a culvert on the Arrowhead Trail, which means Harriet can't get me to the northern terminus at the time I wanted to go, around 8 a.m. And so I'm stuck till about 1:30 here in Grand Marais, so I'm going to make the best of it, check out the world's greatest donuts, and maybe hang in the library, make sure I'm all charged up so that I'm ready to go when it's time. And here's the trail to get to the 360 or 270 overlook and the start. So now we're starting to climb as we head toward the 270 overlook, and I'm about 15 minutes in and I'm starting to feel it a little bit, and I haven't officially started the trail yet, but it's good. And here is the turnoff, heading up to the overlook. Getting close. And we made it to the start. Time to sign the registry. Got a beautiful day up here. See the river heading off. Out there is Canada. Somewhere over that way is Miles, and Dean and Alec are over there somewhere. How's it going, eh? Just beautiful. So as I head down the SHD on the southbound hike, I'm reminded of the last time I did a backpacking trip on this trail, which was actually in 1989. Did 2 nights between Temperance River and Cascade River. Had a great time. It was cold and it was October, but it was beautiful. And I've always thought about wanting to do a hike like this. I've done some day hikes on the trail since then, but nothing like this. So we're starting off with a 5-day section hike between here and Grand Marais. See how it goes, and if all goes well and we can find the time, I'll try and do the rest of it. So pretty excited and nervous at the same time because I'm not 27 anymore. So I'm back at the sign, and it's important to note the Superior Hiking Trail is now part of the North Country Trail that goes actually all the way from North Dakota to New York. It's actually about double the size of the Appalachian Trail. And at this point here, the North Country Trail continues on as the Border Route Trail through the Boundary Waters. And the Superior Hiking Trail, which we just came from the overlook, heads down to the Wisconsin border, which is where we're headed. Well, most of the trail has been pretty good, albeit rocky and lots of roots. This section was a little tough, but there were some raspberries in here. Good thing I wore long pants. Hey, so I made it back to the parking lot where Harriet dropped me off, and now I'm going to be heading down the road to the SHT lot on Otter Tail Road and continue on the trail heading southbound. There's the river we saw coming out of from the 270 overlook as we looked south and west. So we've got two campsite options. One 1.7 miles away, Andy Lake or Andy Creek, and then Jackson Lake at 8.7. I think we're gonna, it's getting close to 4, so I'll probably take the smaller one and count today as a success and try and get some miles in tomorrow. Especially since the sky is starting to look a little dark. Yeah, I also want to give a shout out to the folks at the Grand Marais YMCA who, one, let me hang out, get some water, and weigh my pack, which turned out to be total with the water, food, everything, about 36 pounds for the 5 days I'll be hiking. So I thought it was okay, not great. I'd like to get it down a little bit, and we'll see how we go about that, but overall it was good. So thanks to the YMCA, and they've got lovely tennis courts and pickleball courts there, and a little spot where you in the shade to kind of chill and maybe even grab a little bit of power for the phone. So thanks again. And now we leave the Forest Service Road and head back on the trail. First obstacle. I think we can do it. Yes. Lots of beautiful flowers in bloom right now. So I just had one of those first attempts in learning. If you look behind me, well, straight ahead is the trail. It's very muddy, and there's a rickety bridge that I think I showed earlier. Well, it turns out on the Gaia map that the Andy Creek campsite was actually on the other side of that stream, and I was going to have to double back. So I did, but I saw no trail to get over to the campsite. I could see it on the map, and so I decided to bushwhack. Well, when I did that, I ended up going down almost to my knees in the mud. Dang. So now I got to find that Andy Creek camp, or if not, continue on to Jackson. Of course, had I continued on just a little bit more, I would have found it. Andy Creek campsite. Looks like home for the night. Chance to dry out. So fun fact, the map that I got, if I had gotten my pack out and looked, had Andy Creek campsite right where it is. The Gaia app, the technology failed and had it on the other side of the creek. Lesson learned. Look at the map. Hey, so what did we learn today? Well, we learned that sometimes things don't go as planned and you can adapt. Really wanted to get on the trail around 9 this morning, and it wasn't until about 2:35 that I really got to start hiking. But that's all right, and it was probably good that I got a little lighter day to get my feet wet, and I did get my feet wet and my pants too. So I learned that, and that the SHT is pretty well marked, and if you just are patient, you can find your campsite no problem. And the last thing is that I guess it's good to be outside, and it's good to stretch and try things that you might not quite be as comfortable with, and you may not succeed right away. But oh, one other thing I learned: stay on the dang trail as much as possible. SHT is really well marked. You'll do fine. Until tomorrow morning.